We're here to talk about something that is very important, how we're going to warm this dog up prior to going into the ring. This sport rewards animated and accurate. Can you imagine right now what your dog looks like when he is ready to compete? Do you see the look on his face that says, hey, I'm focused on you. I'm interested in what we're doing. I'm not worried about what's going on around me. I'm all in, coach. Let's go. That's the look that I want you to have prior to walking into the ring. What are our strategies for achieving that? I believe that 30% of your success is based on how well you coach your canine athlete on the day of the show. 70% are the skills that we teach him, but 30% are how am I going to coach this athlete? And I'm going to divide that 30% up. 10% of that 30% happens before you ever walk into the ring. And then 20% of that is how you're going to choreograph this performance when you're in the ring. We will be talking about that some more in the upcoming months. My first goal is to say to you, let's develop for everybody here 3 different warm-ups that you can do. And we're going to talk about dogs of different temperament. So this handout, who is this dog? What kind of trainer do you need to be? If you consider this to be a continuum, a straight line, we said there are dogs on the left that are thoughtful, methodical, maybe a little nervous. These would be the dogs that are environmentally a little bit insecure. They can be very consistent. So let's talk about those dogs on the left for starters. What kind of warm-up are you going to develop? Well, one of the warm-ups I'd like you to develop is warming up with a reward marker, because it doesn't take up much room and it usually gets those dogs very much engaged and more relaxed. So if you can have 2 or 3 things you can ask this dog to do in response to a reward marker, you can probably get him very engaged and very relaxed. And that's one of the warm-ups that I want you to consider. You might want to have a reward that he doesn't normally get. Maybe that's when you want to pull out your baked liver treats or chicken nuggets, whatever it is that's a little bit unusual that might get him a little more interested or focused on the game at hand. How can you use proofing? When we talk about proofing, let's think about something like a retrieve with him on leash. I set the dumbbell on the ground and I just walked by and made him pick it up very quickly. This is not the time to teach him that game. It's the time to use something that you've taught him before. Maybe this is the time when you say, I'm going to do a little bit of healing and I'm going to do bad footwork on purpose because he's going to scramble to catch up with me and it's going to wake him up. Can be something really simple that puts him on notice. Hey, I better concentrate, bear down, get in the game a little bit. Another option might be for you to get him out of his crate and hand him to a friend and disappear. Sometimes a lifestyle change for those dogs that are on the left is very effective. And you disappear for a minute and you come back. He may be looking around going, come on, what happened? Why'd you leave me here? So there's ideas for those dogs that are on the left, and that in order to get to animated and accurate, I want to move them to the right. Let's talk about those dogs that are on the right of the continuum. Those dogs that may be impulsive and fast and flashy. They're often inconsistent. So what are some strategies for warming this dog up that's on the right? Let's think about the reward marker. Is that appropriate? What about if you modify that a little bit to say, I'm not going to ask you to do one thing and use a reward marker. I'm going to ask you to do 3 or 4 things in a row. So front. Okay, now I'm going to step back and sideways a little bit. Front. Now I'm going to move over this way. Front. Then I might say heel. Then I might say stand up. Okay, good for you. Concentrate a little bit. Multiple things are going to come at you before I offer my reward marker and a reward. Certainly, using proofing can also be effective for these dogs. Remember, what you're trying to say to them is concentrate here. We have a job to do. So proofing that he understands may work for that dog as well. Another option is just to go to ringside and sit and wait. Sometimes those dogs that are on the right of the continuum do very well if you say, we're just going to sit here and relax. I'm going to let you watch. I'm going to let you see what's going on. And you just take some of the energy out by saying, let's just sit here a minute. Another option might be to have this dog who is on the right of the continuum either wait on a bed or in the crate with the door open. Years ago, my first competitive Labrador was named Ezra. If I put him on a bed, he knew he had to stay on the bed. He would stand with his feet on the edge of the bed and his tail was going. And you know what? He was a lot easier to show because he had had to concentrate on something for all that time. He had to remember to stay on his bed. And so that really was part of my warm-up. One of the things that I have not found effective, I have a dog with a lot of energy. I am going to go out and let him run. Mindless exercise has never been very helpful. It might make them tired, but I need their brain engaged to really get them in the state of mind that I want when I walk in the ring. I will often say about those dogs on the right, many of those dogs love to heal them into position rather than trying to manipulate them by steering them or pulling them back or saying, hey, don't forge. Fatigue is your friend. You just heel long enough that that dog says, hey, you know what? I think I'm calm enough now to bring myself back into position. With that said, I want you to be thinking about 3 potential ways to warm up. And you may have a dog on the right that you say, you know, I really do think he likes to heel. Healing is going to be part of my warm up. If you have a dog on the left, you may say, you know, healing is not his favorite subject. I am not going to do that as part of my warm up. I need to come up with some other ways to get him in the correct frame of mind.
Do you have a warm up that you use for training? And how does that look different than what you'll use the day of the trial?
I would like to challenge you. I want you to start practicing your warm up. Say, I'm going to start this training session with this warm up that I think would work for me at a dog show. Then I'm going to do 2 or 3 exercises and I'm going to evaluate how effective my warm up was. And if you come up with one that's working, try it several days in a row. Did it stay effective? Or, you know what? I did exactly today what I did yesterday, but I didn't get that same I'm ready, coach, put me in look. What do I have to do to tweak this? I think we think in terms of practicing skills. I'm going to suggest to you that when you've spent money and time to go to a dog show is not the time to experiment with your warm-up. Let's experiment with our warm-up every day that we go out to train. How long does a warm-up take? We want to be warming up while the dog in front of us is in the ring. How do I get this dog engaged, animated, and accurate in 3 minutes? That's what our challenge is going to be to you. How would you warm this dog up? That's how I want you to practice this week.